Even in Ohio, my brother lives out in, what would be considered rural. I can't say the word. Rural, rural. I can't say it. I have problems speaking the English language. Um, we'd never be able to do some shit like this out there. We have fires out there, small bonfires, but not like this. We've had this thing burning literally all day long since 4:30 this morning, just piling shit on, piling on, piling on it. Um, you know, no permission, no permit slip needed to burn shit on my own land. You got to call and ask the fire department if it's safe. Which we actually I started throwing more shit on it because we were supposed to get a big storm and it just missed us. How you doing, Mr. NG? So, I have an honest question to ask. How long? How long until something breaks, something gives, whatever, however you want to say it? I mean, they've been holding our economy up through pumping you know, billions, if not trillions, of dollars into, falsely pumping it into the economy, just printing money off, causing the hyperinflation that we're seeing now. And now they've come up with this great solution to the problem, the I forget what the fuck it's called. It's some anti-freedom act where they're going to 6 months or less. I think that I've thought that for a long time though, and they keep finding other ways to prop it up. But the more I talk to people, talking to my neighbor today and talking to another guy about the same thing, like people are struggling right now. My neighbor sold me some chickens because he literally didn't have money to feed his kids dinner tonight. Like, that's how fucked up he is, and he makes decent money. He's like, this everything's so expensive now. They're the budgeting people and all that. I guess he got this girlfriend maybe a year and a half ago or something. He grows with now. Their family, they both have kids, and they budget, so they don't just spend wildly, according to him. And the price of everything has went up so much that they've dug into their savings and they're now, running out of money before the week's over. And in this case, they're a week behind now. And he makes decent money, so I'm still curious what the people are doing who make less money than I do or than what he does or than what you do, what they are doing right now, how they are surviving. And at what point do they break? At what point does it no longer matter that, at what point does the, what's acceptable in society no longer matter because what's acceptable doesn't feed your kids? Yeah, it's insanity, man. The level is slow low. The crime wave and food shortage, be ready to prepare. It's time to become a survivor. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. We're not like preppers in the sense like we have all this shit stocked up for, we can just lock the gate and be here for, years or anything like that. You know, I mean, we have more than the average person does. How bad I'm back. My wife. Crazy tomorrow. Would it be worth digging into what you have saved, or what do you do? I don't know. I think that I guess it doesn't matter what I think. In all honesty, I'm a small piece to a puzzle that doesn't even exist. Right. I hate even using the government assistance shit. Man. It's theft and extortion. It's people that are okay to. I don't know if I told you guys about this yet. My niece Brianna, my only niece, her her sister on her dad's side of her family, not my niece, made a post the other day about it's facing out to the beach, and I don't know if she has handicapped relatives or not. Don't know, don't care, doesn't matter for the conversation. But I do have a link to the girl, so it's not just like somebody, some random fucking person, right? It's my niece who, like, I care deeply about, always have. It's her sister. So I'm not just being an asshole, but she posted a post on Facebook and it says, it's a picture of a beach and it has a handicapped concrete walk, like, uh, pathway going out onto the beach. And she says, I would like to see more of these at other beaches or some shit. And I'm like, well, okay. I'm sure that if you called the city, they would be happy to give you a permit so you could pay for it and have it contracted to be built wherever you would like. I would just about bet any city in the country would let you do that has a beach. And I was like, by the way, are you a Christian? And I was like, I'm only asking because what you're really saying here is that you want the people who live in that community to be extorted so that when you go there on vacation, or when these handicapped people go there on vacation, they can go out onto the beach. So by saying that, everybody took it as I'm just some fucking dickhead who doesn't care about people who are handicapped, which wasn't what I was saying at all. But like, it's no different than I want government to steal money from you to build a motocross track for 11 to 15-year-olds only, males, who wear glasses. Something I'd just like to see. And like they couldn't understand that it's the same thing. Well, no, it's not. That's a want, and this is a need. I'm like, no, it's a want. They don't need it to survive. Let's just say that it wasn't. It was. Whatever. It still doesn't change the conversation. You are supporting wanting people to be extorted. You want these people to go to work hard, sweat, whatever it is that they do. Then government to come up to them with a gun and say, give me your money so I can build this thing for these other people. And everybody's okay with it as long as it's some shit that they want or they see a need for, or whatever, whatever the case may be. And it's so far now that they think that, like, the socialism is real. It's here. We're already neck deep into communism. I've said that shit for years now, and it's not. It's true. And it's normal now. Like, people think it's okay. They think taxation is a way of life. They think being extorted is a way of life. They think that the more productive you are, the more that you should have to pay. Like, that makes no sense at all. If anything, the more productive you are, the less you should have to pay, because your productiveness leads to all these other people being able to support themselves who are not as productive as you are. We live in a world that's just ass backwards, man. And like, I hate the term clown world, but it is freaking clown world. And it's not getting any better. I mean, I live in middle of nowhere, America, like literally the middle of nowhere. And we got some, hot pink liberal working up here at the Family Dollar. And every time I go in there, I try to pick her brain a little bit. So tonight, I was like, if you had to say, and I always ask this first, normally when I talk to people, because it gives me a clear indication of where they're at immediately. If you had to say that you're on the, liberal left side of things or the conservative right side of things, where are you at? She says, I'm a mixture of both. So right then I knew where she was at. You're lost. You're indoctrinated. You buy into the bullshit. But let's have the conversation anyway. But I knew where I was going. So I'm like, so what's your, what's your feeling about freedom? Actually, no, back up. She said, I'm a mixture of both. I think that couples should be able to protect their marijuana farms with semi-automatic assault rifles. And I said, well, that would be cool if there was a real thing that was a semi-automatic assault rifle. And she's like, she gave me that look. Well, okay, assault rifles. I was like, well, the ability for the average person to actually come up with an assault rifle is pretty rare, being that there's really only one true assault rifle, and it's STG-44. We can argue all day long that anything with a 3-round, select fires an assault rifle, we can have that argument, but yeah, not really. That's just a term that's been coined for those rifles, because you assault with them, or a battle rifle, you go to battle with them. Yeah, but then she immediately got one on the defensive, like I was treating her like she was stupid. And I was like, I'm not treating you like you're stupid. I understand that you don't know. She's like, well, I'm a 19-year-old. She thinks she's real smart. And she probably is pretty intelligent, like book smart. Dumber than box rocks, but probably book smart as hell. Speaks really well. I'm just some fucking redneck that can barely speak at all. And she goes on to say, well, I'm a 19-year-old who hasn't been around firearms, blah, 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 and all this other bullshit. Nobody's taught me. I'm like, well, but you live in a town where probably one of the best fighting firearm schools in the country is right in this town. So there's no excuse for you not to know. I said, but it's nobody else's, place to teach you. It's your place to learn. And then why do you have an opinion about it? If you admit that you don't know anything about it, why do you have an opinion about it? Because your opinion, good or bad, in your mind, only aids in going against what you say that you are for. When you make it common language to call these scary black rifles semi-automatic assault rifles, or yeah, she also said that she also said that I know I'm gonna skip all over the place, that she don't believe that the people should have weapons of war. I'm like, well, that kind of makes no sense based on the logic, but I said, you understand that you wouldn't be where you're at right now if it wasn't for a population of people being able to defeat their government with the arms that they had, for having better weapons than the government had. I was like, if you can't defeat anybody that tends to do you harm, whether that be me, the guy down the street, or government, you are a slave. Now you're not going to admit that to yourself, but that's exactly what you are. And I could tell she was getting frustrated because people don't like having those conversations, because I think it's because it actually makes them think for a second, or maybe they just really think that I'm really stupid because I say shit just the opposite of what the rest of the world commonly repeats. So I'll go back the next time and pick her brain a little more. She's a pre-med student. I learned the last time I talked to her. I was like, oh yeah, you're just the person I need to talk to. But anyway, I went on to just pick out her brain a little bit more about guns. I'm like, so you're okay with like the most violent person in the country having whatever firearms they want, right? She's like, sure. That was her answer from there on out, once she thought I was trying to make her look stupid. And I really wasn't trying to make her look stupid. I was just asking, questions because, although she is 19 and there's a lot of laws that people like her support, which makes it, damn near impossible for her to do certain things. She has a vote, I don't know. A pistol identifies as automatic. Punch. Yep. Sweet. So you're not it's not privy to any or it's not you don't have to go by any of the regulations for pistols then in any state, huh? Yeah, I get it. I get it. That'd be a great shirt. Okay, smile every time. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean they're called different things depending on who's using them. If they're giving them to civilians in Ukraine to fight a war of fiction, that is nothing more than a fight. Dude, it's theater. 1,000% it's theater, and they're called personal defense weapons or whatever you want to call them. They'll take billions of your dollars that they extort from you and send it overseas to these people to then partially be funneled back to them. I mean, it's alive out here. But they don't want you to have anything that you can, defend yourself from government. And that's what it's about, man. And let's quit lying to ourselves. It's not about fucking saving people's lives. It's not about the children or none of that shit. It's about when 5 dudes stack up to come through your door that have badges on, do you have the chance of defeating them at that moment or not? That's what it's really about. 1,000% is what it's about. Because the average person has a far better chance if coming, and that's the thing, man. It's like you don't see it coming, it's game over. You're not going to, It's not like the burglar trying to sneak into your house. These dudes come in like they own the place. Um, but if you do see it coming, your likelihood of success is far greater with a full auto than it is with some auto. At least suppressing them coming in through the front door. You got new chickies? I gotta get a rooster. Are all the chickies happy chickies? The old ones don't know what to think. They got all these young bitches in there with them now. I gotta get a rooster to keep them lined out. That rooster got like chicken hawk. Got a plan for him though. Got a plan for him. Anywho, I'm curious to see what's going to happen to the Senate. I thought they were going to throw that assault weapons, the assault weapons ban. I thought they were going to throw it in that uh, Inflation Reduction Act or whatever the hell they're calling it. That bullshit that they're, that's going to rob you. And that just plays into, lately I've been talking about how I go to the bank to cash checks, whether it be here in Ohio or wherever, and they always want your social security number now. And that's to create a file on you to see where this money's coming and going, and if you're trying to skirt taxation or not. And once, right now that's all it is. Pretty soon it'll be digital currency and somebody dictating if you can make purchases or not. It'll be a lot of shit, and people just don't see where it's going, and whether or not it happens in their lifetime doesn't matter. I'm not okay with it happening in my kids' lifetime, my grandkids' lifetimes. I'm not okay with it happening 10 generations from now, even if my bloodline has stopped. And, I guess maybe until people start caring beyond themselves, it's all downhill. It's just people are so lost in the theater, man. I don't really think there's any getting it back. You have people who openly support oppression. Everything oppressive happens because of a gang of bad thugs who come with this imaginary authority the state has given them to do this shit that they do. Give me unlimited backup in a populace who fears me, and I would rule the country too. I'm not saying I would want that position. I'm just saying that you can make it happen. And that's the problem with is the people in general, is that people will not band together and stand for anything against nothing. If it means sacrifice, if it means going to jail, death, losing your job, them taking your shit, freezing your bank accounts, whatever it is, people are like, oh, no, I can't do that. And the excuse is always because the next guy won't do it. But even when there's somebody willing to do it, and they say they're willing to do it, have been saying they're willing to do it for years, nobody will still join forces with that person to stop what's going on. So it's a sick world we live in. Well, what's your Texas? They're expanding IRS, I heard. Yeah, 87,000 more IRS agents. I forget the number, man. It was some stupid number. That wasn't me farting. That was me pushing my thing across the truck road. Yeah, and that goes back into what I was talking about. If you remember back, the whole $600 thing. If you have $600 coming or going into your bank accounts, and that's not just one time. That's not like you write me a check for $600. That's period for the year. If you got $600 going or coming, they're going to track every transaction that there is and try to do things. That's why when I do work, man, if you pay me cash, I give you, well, really, I charge you 10% more if you write a check to me. I ask you up front, how are you paying me? Cash or check? But the check, I'm charging you 10% more at least. So really, I should charge you about 30% more, because that's how much more I'm going to have to wind up paying when I wind up being caught. There's some fucking bitch like my fag fans turn me in, which I don't give a fuck, turn me in. Somebody, hey, like them apples. Ain't carried this long, ain't gonna start carrying today. You need to be driving, woman, and not freaking typing. You're right, Kurt. The matter, if there's a high attrition rate is the only thing to understand. I don't know. I'm just still amazed that people are incapable of even recognizing the problem. You know, people who are still shouting, call your representative. You don't think these assholes in Washington know how the people feel? Do you really believe that for 1 second? No, they know exactly how people feel. And they know, I mean, all they have to do is just look at firearm sales over the past 3 years. Like, people can feel that something is coming. And for some odd reason, they believe that having a firearm will make them safe. And like I tell people all the time, man, like, I've said it before on here 10,000 times. I remember in my first class, like halfway through the day, I'd been carrying for like a year and a half at that point when I took that first class. And I remember thinking, I'd have been better off carrying a fucking rock rather than a firearm. Having a firearm does not make you safe whatsoever if you cannot run that firearm. If you cannot operate it, you in the middle of a gunfight, you're not going to be able to say, time out, I got a malfunction, let me figure out how to fix this shit. You just need to know how to fix it. And like, that's not things that people know, that think about, because they're, I wish there was another word than ignorant, because it just sounds so terrible. But they're ignorant of those things. You just don't know what you don't know. Ignorant people are the only people that really will never know that they're ignorant. Vote harder. Don't give it to the other guy. Yeah. Okay. Drop it and pull another one. Why why when you can clear the malfunction faster than you can do that most times. I mean, especially, I mean, how many are you gonna have? I mean, ankle holsters, yeah, okay, but I mean, kind of cumbersome. It takes a second to get your pant leg up and get it out. I mean, I guess you train them doing it could be faster. But I mean, it's way faster to tap rack, drag a mag out, tap rack, or tap rack, drag a mag out, rack, throw a mag in. Well, I don't even think it's knowledge of your arms. I think just knowing how to run them, and like with the high ammo prices, that shit, you know, that's a skill that you lose like anything else. Just like welding. If I picked up a TIG welder today, I used to be a badass TIG welder, like fucking awesome. And I remember the last time I tried to TIG weld, like um, it wasn't very pretty at all. Like, especially aluminum. Aluminum and stainless was my thing. That's what I did. And it's no difference with running firearms. You don't use it, you lose it, man. And with the cost of ammo now, like, who can afford to, be at the range running a 9 mil all day? Yeah, you can get, these 22 LR uppers for your Glock 19. The mags aren't exactly, don't feel the same. They're not the same size. Kind of operates a little different. Clear malfunctions can be not as easy or the same. But then you get a gunfight, and now you got having to deal with the recoil of a 9 millimeter rather than a 22 LR. I don't know. I need a buddy who has pallets of ammo, so I can give to my friends and watch them shoot as I shoot my airsoft guns, because I don't have guns. I shot a few rounds yesterday. Yes, pellets. Yeah, I like to have one of them air rifles, man. Well, not really. I like to have I need to get one of those really nice pellet rifles. You know what I mean? Not the little cheap, $50 one. Like a nice pellet rifle. I think that'd be cool as hell to have out here. Because I mean, you can kill almost any game that's squirrels and shit like that with it out here. Yeah, brass tar, man. Like, don't lose that skill, man. That skill will come in handy at some point. You know. Well, here's my thing. If I'm going to spend at one time, if it came down at a pretty fast rate, or whatever it was, whatever that price was, at one time, I don't think it was justified. Even now, in most cases, it's not justified because even the reloading shit's so expensive. That reloading shit's for specialized, you know, people who, shoot long range competitively. Um, I don't think there's a real need for it when it comes to, if you're running 9 mil or 5.56 or something like that. But that's just my opinion. I think that you'd probably be better off just buying the ammo. I mean, especially when your time's considered. How much is your time worth? If you enjoy doing it and you have the extra time, more power to you. But if you're like me, I have no extra time. I don't have time to do the shit that I need to get done, much less some shit that I don't need to do, absolutely need to do. Yeah, but Christy and I worked all night last night. Well, anyway, and we started fire that is still raging back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see if I can see a shot of it. Am I even right here? Is the camera turned around? Nope, right there. There it is. Did you just see it? I seen it flicker. That away. So let's turn the camera around and see if I can get a shot of it. Okay, you see what? You can't even see the fire. Damn, I can see it like that. Huh. The training classes are well worth the money. I mean, it's more expensive now. You used to be able to go to a class and take a class for less than $1,000. Now that's what we. I mean, when we went to the first one, I think it was less than $1,000 a person by the time we included a rental, fuel, ammo, the class, food, and all that shit. Now the ammo is far more expensive than the class. I mean, you could take a 2-day class, 1,500 rounds of 9 mil or 5.56. I mean, the ammo is more than the class is. You're now to spending $1,500 for it, depending on when you bought the ammo. At one time, it was close to $2,000. We took a rifle class, and God, I forget what it cost us, but it was some ungodly amount just for the ammo. It's fun though. It's fun just being around those people that that legit know what they're doing, and you can tell who. you could, oh shit, that's some funny stories. I can't give. I can't talk about it. We have one in our group right here that I think would be very well capable of training a lot of people and just get him on board with doing it. I actually know I actually know a dude, a SEAL dude that I need to message him. At one time, I was going to message him and see if I got some people together, if he would come and just like do some basic shit. And I don't know. I need to get a hold of him and see if we can make that happen. Oh yeah, it's probably well over $800. I mean, you figure any class you're going to take is going to be 1,500 rounds, and if you take a rifle class, you're still going to need 500 rounds of pistol ammo for that. So now you're talking 2,000 rounds of ammo. That shit ain't cheap anymore. Jay, you should have been here all day, man. We had a fire going here literally since 4:30 this morning. Big ass fire. I got that whole thing back there burned up, plus a bunch of shit that was laying around. I got to really start working on getting all these trees cleared out of here so I can figure out what I'm going to do about all the roots and shit and stumps and whatever. I don't think I'm going to be able to get as far as my truck as I thought, especially when it comes to the cedar trees. Other shit probably, but these cedar trees, the roots on them are freaking crazy. It's supposed to rain here, but apparently it passed us by, I guess. I don't know. But my phone's about to die, guys. I just want to get on here and say hey and tell everybody have a good night. He almost missed it. He always almost missed it. Yeah, I know. Chris is like, did you delete that? I'm like, yeah. She's like, Jay was going to go back and watch it. I'm like, yeah, well, he ain't missed so much, man. I don't say much of substance with substance in it anymore anyway. I just come on here to bullshit. Pretend like I have a friend, sit here and talk to my phone. Anyway, you guys have a good night. I'm going to go in here and wait for my wife to get here shortly. When she comes in, I want to force her to make me a bowl of ice cream. You got to add it or else. Make me a bowl of ice cream or else. And then I got to get in the shower and get some sleep so I can get up early tomorrow and make a living. Take care of my kiddos, my families. Actually, I got to go to McEwen in the morning to pick up some of my tools. I got a flooring job coming, 2 flooring jobs coming up. I got a service. I got to do a service. I got to build a service out at a place. The lady just had a mobile home moved, and her nephew was building the service out on this mobile home. And the power coming in is through a weatherhead, not underground. And this douchebag built the service out on the side of the mobile home. I'm like, yeah, you can't really do that. You can do it, but it's not the smart thing to do. So she's having a pole set right now so I can build the service out there. And I got a couple other jobs I got to go look at, but I don't know. I want to jump off here. Excavator grinding. Yeah, man, that shit's expensive though, man. I got to come up with something less expensive, a less expensive way. Like I don't have the money to. I mean, I would trust me. I would love to rent an excavator, a decent sized excavator for a day. I would fucking love it. I would get a ton of shit done around here, and like I could use an excavator around here, but I don't have the $700 a day to rent one or whatever it is. You can get a mini X for $240 a day, but you can only do so much with those. I mean, is it? I would probably be better off money wise if I rent the bigger one, just for the sheer fact of how long it would take to dig those big stumps out of the ground. But it's expensive nonetheless, and it's not in the cards right now. Tire method works. What do you mean tire method? What, burn them with the burn? Put tires on the stumps and burn them. Is that what you're talking about? Fire method? No, this is the tire method. Use tire to create leverage. I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah. Get Sci Guy out there digging them up. I will. I will check it out. I actually just thought about. I don't know. I gotta come up with something. I think it would even be cheaper just to get a winch for my truck. Really like an 18,000-pound winch, but maybe even a 12,000-pound winch. And I could just anchor my truck off and just pull the fucking trees over at that point. The stumps are way easier to get out of the ground when it's a whole tree rather than cutting the tree off and then trying to get the stumps out of the ground. Because the added weight of the tree aids in getting them out, at least in my experience anyway. I'll check it out for sure as soon as I get off here and go inside. On the phone, Father. Well, good. Tell your mama when she gets here I want a bowl of ice cream or else. But I'm going to get off here, guys. You guys have a good night and stay safe. Yeah, push over with a big excavator. I know, man, but like I said, excavators are expensive, brother. You know what I mean? I could get a lot done with one in just a day, but I think they're about $700 for the bigger excavator. I forget the size of them. Mini X won't push a lot of these trees over. The bigger ones will, but I think they're like $700 plus delivery. So you're probably talking $1,000 a day plus fuel. The fuel I can handle. It's just not in the cards right now. But it would make it real fast, a lot faster. And I got to do something because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to have a garden next year except for these little shitty ones. And this ain't enough food to really do anything. I mean, it's fun to play with. and it's cool and all, but it's like, yeah, I grew something, but like I would like to actually be productive, you know what I mean, where we can can stuff and make stuff like you make. Like that stuff is banging, man. Like I've been trying to figure out for 2 days now how I'm going to talk you into selling me some of it because I don't have the shit to make it with. Hey, if you guys haven't checked out None Yet Texas on the Back 20s channel, go check his channel out, dude. He's got a lot of fucking killer videos. And the dude's doing it for real. Like, for real doing it. He's got a nice ass place down there. Super nice. But, alright, guys, have a good night. Should I send you a case? You ain't got to send me a case, man. I'm only kidding. But I want to be able to grow my own stuff so that we can make that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I see you doing it, and I see other people doing it. And I know it takes time, and it takes money, and it takes effort. I know all that. And it's just like, I get frustrated really easy. I get overwhelmed, number one. I have to literally write down what I need to do and check it off. And I'm not even very good at doing that. But I need to start doing that more because I get overwhelmed with shit, and then I'm just like, oh fuck, I can't get nothing done. But I want to be able to do it myself. I don't want to have to keep relying on other people, or even for that, I don't want to have to rely on you to send me a case of it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to make that myself next year. But the only way I can do that, I know, is to make more room because I can't have a garden in the middle of my gravel driveway. So I need to open up area um, in order to do that, which, it's just going to take time. I've started with what I have. Started cutting trees down and pulling what stumps I can out with my truck that I can get to and that I can get out with my truck. But there's some of them that it's just not possible. The skid steer, I can get it, depending on how the stump itself, I can get some pretty big stumps out with a 75 horsepower skid steer. Thank God I didn't mind those. It beats the shit out of it doing it. But, you can get it done. I think we're going to run skid steer here shortly. And if I don't use up all the time over there, if I can get done over there what I need to get done and still have time left, I'm going to bring it back here and try to clear out at least a little shit where I need to clear out back here. And then the bigger stuff, I'm just going to get my truck back in there. And, I talked to Ken Anderson today. Is Ken in here? Anyway, I talked to Ken Anderson today. He sent me that come along. I know I've told you guys this, but he sent a few weeks ago. I was talking about the somebody gave to him, so he sent it to me, which is gain a lot of extra force out of that. So I'll figure it out. It'll happen. But my wife's pulling in, so I'm going to go and get my bowl of ice cream, and I will holler at you all later. Have a good night, guys.